Hi everyone, it's Amanda from Willow and Pip, where I make goat's milk soap and bath and body products. Today I am making a bath bomb recipe where I use lime and listia essential oils. I call this bath bomb Wake Up because the citrus essential oils are really refreshing and invigorating, and it just seems to go with the scent blend that I've chosen. I will apologize in advance. My video cut out and I will definitely blame user error. At the end of the video, I do normally like to show me hand pressing my bath bombs, but unfortunately I did not successfully capture the footage today for that piece. So I'll warn you in advance, but you will see my entire process of me putting all the ingredients together, hand mixing, as well as I will be sharing the recipe in the notes and description section below the video. So I still hope that you get a lot of good value out of today's video, and thank you for your patience. I hope you enjoyed today's video. For today's bath bomb recipe, I am making a double batch. However, you are welcome to divide the recipe in half in order to make less for your needs. So I start out with 1,341 grams of baking soda. To it, I am adding 54 grams of cream of tartar, 35 grams of SLSA, 12 grams of kaolin clay, and 12 grams of goat's milk powder. Make sure you are wearing a mask for this part because the SLSA is extremely fine and the dust is similar to, I would say, icing sugar, and it will become airborne and it can make you cough. And so for that reason, it's really not good for you to be inhaling. So I spend a good period of time lightly whisking. I'm trying not to cause the mixture to go airborne, but I want to thoroughly incorporate all of those ingredients together. For the wet ingredient portion, I have combined 11 grams of grapeseed oil, 9 grams of polysorbate 80, 24 grams of rubbing alcohol, and 24 grams of essential oils. So for this, I've done a small amount of listia essential oils and a predominant amount of lime essential oils. You're welcome to mix however you choose. However, be sure to check the skin safe usage rate for your essential oils, as every essential oil has a different usage rate. This creates a bit of a mud because I am using a yellow clay. I've added 6 teaspoons of yellow clay to this mixture. You don't have to add that step if you don't want a natural colorant. And of course, you could use mica if you're not looking to use any natural clays for your coloring. Finally, you see me here adding 5 grams of shea butter. I do melt the shea butter, obviously. I don't want to have it in the hard form. So that's the last bit of the wet ingredients. I'll mix that through as best as I can before I add this mixture to the dry ingredients in my stainless steel bowl. A lot of people will use an electric mixer for their bath bombs. I do sometimes, but more than not, I find it's just another piece of equipment to get out and get dirty. And I actually really like feeling the bath bomb mixture in my hands. It gives me a little bit more control as well, just to make sure that everything is incorporated fully. Here I am just using my spatula to get the all of the wet essential oils out of that wet ingredient containers. So I find this little trick, if you can scoop up some of the dry ingredients and use it to soak up the remainder of the wet ingredients, it not only helps ensure that you're not wasting your ingredients, but it also makes cleanup really easy at the end. Here I am, grinding or sort of sifting the ingredients. I am still wearing my mask as those fine particles can still become airborne. So I'm doing this in real time. This video isn't sped up in any way. And you can see how I'm just gently moving that mixture back and forth with my hands. I am
doing this because I find it's a really nice way to make sure everything's incorporated and any clumps are just smoothed out and ground down. And by the time I'm done with this, I am really confident that not only the mixture is going to be the right level of dampness, because that's really important as well, or the right amount of moisture when you're trying to press, but that I have the ingredients fully mixed, properly mixed together. Next, I'm going to be adding the citric acid, and this is 902 grams. And again, this is a fairly big batch, so all of this is a double batch. You can divide it in half if you would like. Similar to what I was doing before, I'm just fully incorporating the ingredients, mixing them with my hands, and making sure the citric acid is blended really well. Now, when I am confident I have everything mixed up, I do spray this mixture with 4 good sprays of water. And yes, I said water, not witch hazel. The trick when you spray it with water is you need to mix pretty quickly, and you need to make sure that if any of the water mist has hit the edge of your bowls, which it will because it's a spray, just scrape the edges of the bowls. Make sure that you are you don't want the mixture to start fizzing or start reacting any more than it's going to when you spray. So if you're very quick about getting that water spray mixed in with this dry ingredients, you'll have no problem. And it's actually the water that's gonna help when you go to press for your bath bombs to stay in its shape, and then also to keep its hardness when you're drying your bath bombs overnight. So you could see me right now doing that fairly quickly. I've done my 4 sprays, and now I'm just making sure I'm kind of whipping those ingredients up to the edge of the bowl and getting all that water incorporated into the dry mixture. And this is more of a claw shape I'm doing with my hand at this stage, is just to make sure that the dry and the wet are fully incorporated. This last shot is showing the bath molds that I use to press. I described at the beginning of the video, I made an error and I actually lost the footage where I was hand pressing them. But these are 2 3D molds, 2 ends of a 3D mold that I've ordered off of Etsy. And you just put the mixture in one end and then the other end and push together. I use these clear plastic bath bomb molds. They're really made for pressing and leaving in, but I like to press in that separate mold and then transfer them into these clear trays or these other clear molds. And then I use the bath bomb sheet that you see here just to dry them overnight. I will flip them after 24 hours. Rather, I will flip them after 12 hours and leave them to dry for 24 hours before I'll put them in any type of packaging. This is what they look like in their final form. I think they're just beautiful. And I hope you think the same. You can, of course, change up your colorants. You can change up the fragrances or your essential oils. Just have fun with it. If you keep the base recipe the same and just change those couple of items around, you can be unique and original to whatever you're making.